Okay, we are live, and that, yes, we're good over there. Hey, y'all, I know we had some craziness going on yesterday with Instagram and on Facebook, so we really didn't get a chance to do anything the last day. What's up, cuz? Welcome to the broadcast. Whatever, dude. Uh, so we're coming back here today, and we're gonna have a double dose. Still gonna try to get through. We're gonna get first start off with the content that we've been going through the day 16 of the 30 days, or excuse me, of the 50 reasons to self-publish. We're gonna get that done first, and then I want to give a little extra on looking at the importance of looking at your proof copies of your first book or your book. All right, so I gotta show y'all. I got some actual things to show you right here on hand to show you as you go forward through that. Let me get this up here. On here, we are live. Post. Boom. And let me get my notes up for you for now. And we're good. All right. So, and as you're coming to the blog, or coming to the broadcast, go ahead and post in if you've ever published your own book or you're thinking about publishing a book. Go ahead and put that in the pot in the in the post there. Put that on the in the chat. I love to hear from you, see where you are in your writing career. And also, if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. Also, if I don't get to them during this broadcast, and I would definitely respond to them directly into the chat. I respond to almost all of my own messages. But let's go ahead and get started with today. Since we have a few things to go through, I want to go ahead and get started quickly with today's content. Again, we're talking about day 16. So welcome to today's episode. This is day 16 of the 50 reasons to self-publish right now. So in day 16, we're giving you reasons number 31 and reasons number 32, which are to make more money and to get paid. Now, I know that probably sounds redundant, like it sounds like the same thing, making more money and getting paid. Well, they kind of are the same thing, but there's a distinction that I want to make between the two ideas today. So let's go ahead and get started with reason number 31, which is to make more money. Yes, writing your book is going to help you make more money. Now, just to give you understanding, I'm not just talking about adding another income stream. That'll be the get paid portion. So reason number 32, what specifically I'm talking about is that you qualify to, or you become, because of what your information, your knowledge, your skill set, you qualify for more money in the marketplace. You become more valuable to the marketplace, and you put that out there into the marketplace, letting people know I have more worth than you may think, than you see on my resume or things of that nature, right? So the book automatically raises your status. So here's what I mean by this. So I moved from when I first started speaking, I moved from free engagements to doing paid engagements. Right? Once I published my book, I immediately started saying, oh, I'm a published author. I didn't get paid for me doing all these speaking engagements. And I started getting paid for those speaking engagements, whether that was people buying a certain amount of books from me, or they paid me a small amount, few $100s or whatever when I first started speaking, which was awesome because, again, I was an unestablished speaker. So I was getting paid to speak, which is awesome. Okay? When you come from making somewhere, you know what I'm saying, with let's say less than $50 an hour, right? Because $50 an hour would be a $100,000 job. If you're making anything less than $50 an hour and they have you they pay you. You get paid to do for over $300, $400, $500 to do a 45-minute talk. Dude, that's a whole day's worth of work that you did in 45 minutes. That's a good feeling. And often I was getting fed too, so it was cool. And I got to sell books in the back of the room. So again, making more money because of that. As other things that come about from making more money. Now, fast forward a couple years after I've been speaking for a few years, I'm making more money from my speaking engagements. I'm asking for more money from speaking engagements. But here's the next thing I do. Once I published my second book, within about 6 months of publishing the second book, I raised the prices on my coaching. Of course, I feel like I'm worth it. I've taken one aspect of my coaching and I've broadened it. I went real deep into it. Excuse me. I narrowed down and went real deep into that one subject area. And then I started creating more products specifically around that one particular chapter of my book that I found like a lot of my clients were needing help on. So now, because I brought this whole level of expertise to that, I did the research and I looked at my own life, I looked at the things that helped me to get better in that particular area, and I wrote a book about how to help other people do it. As I used also my experience with my clients and teaching them these principles and added those into the book. Now it's like, all right, I need to raise my prices, because I obviously have increased my ability to get results, not only from writing the book, but I'm telling other people about that I wrote the book. I can garner more value in the marketplace. You can do the same thing by writing your book. Now, here's another example I want to give to you. All right. There's in Think and Grow Rich, there's a chapter talking about specialized knowledge, about the importance of having specialized knowledge in order for you to start making more money, to think and grow rich by thinking through an area that you have specialized knowledge and increasing your experience, your wisdom, and then your understanding in that area becomes a specialized areas for you. Now, because of that, you can start asking for more money. And here's what happened in the story he describes in Think and Grow Rich. He talks about a grocer who got fired. A guy who was working for a grocery store who got fired. And what he did was he turned around and took his passion and his expertise in bookkeeping and started a bookkeeping business. He goes back to the person who owns the grocery store, starts doing their bookkeeping, and then gets more clients from there. And he continues to grow, and he starts having more and more, several different bookkeeping practices because of him focusing in on something that he was specialized in. Okay. Now, again, the point isn't here is for you to say that to take that knowledge and just start opening a bunch of businesses. The point is because he had this specialized knowledge in the area that he was able to start building other business outside of what he was originally doing, and he was making more money because of that specialized knowledge. Now, what does this mean for you as writing a book? It means that when you write the book, you are publicizing your specialized knowledge in an area. And therefore, you then can do similar to the guy in the story and start opening your own business and or consulting or whatnot in that area. Which takes me to the next story here, which comes from Kevin Kruse. Kevin Kruse, he started a blog back in 2015, January 2015. It's called Author's Journey to 100K. Author's Journey to 100K. Now, he left his job in December of 2014 as an executive, a corporate executive. Now, what he does in this blog is he starts journaling and documenting his path from going from leaving his job to making $100,000. And he wanted to do it in that first year. So what find out in the second post of the year, because the first post was just about like, this is what I'm trying to do with the blog and so forth, and talks about who he is and what he's done and why his reason for starting a blog and why he left his job. The second post in January of 2015, the title of that post is "My Book Got Me a Paid Speaking Gig!" Exclamation point. Okay, so just think about that. He's like, I'm just starting this blog and I'm going to go out here and start trying to make $100,000, 100K in my first year as an indie author, working off of the back of his books and other things that come along with writing the books, right? So the first month he does that, he gets confirmation. And what my words are, you've heard me say several times before in other posts about confirmation. So he immediately got confirmation that he was doing the right thing because he gets a random phone call from someone who had read his book, his earlier books, not the book he was writing that year, but from earlier books, and he gets a paid gig for over $17,000. If you're going to try to make $100,000 a year, you only need to make about $8,300 and some dollars a month in order to make 100K. So he basically had 2 months. He already started off the blocks. In the second week of the year, he already had 2 months covered, right? So he was well on his way to making 100,000. And he says it was kind of a fluke or whatnot, but the point being, he goes through the rest of this year and he ends up making over $200,000, and he documents the whole year, and he continues to document this. Now, over that $200,000 consists of $70,000 from book royalties. Okay, so the royalties he received from his books, and $170,000 came from speaking fees. Okay, so because he started focusing on his book and leveraging the authority from his books, he started making more money than he was making as an executive at a corporate business because he transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur. So that takes me to the next point. Reason number 32 is to get paid for when you're writing your book. Now, most of you will likely not get rich from your book itself. From book sales alone, you're probably not going to get rich. Just be okay with that. People don't know you. It's not likely that you're going to make a lot of money immediately from your book. Now, over time, you may get some publishing deals, and then you may make some more money there, or you just get very popular. A book takes off, and your series takes off, and other people find your earlier books, and you make a lot of money from the sales of your books. That's not the route most people that you're most likely going to go. However, it is possible. The most likely route for you to become wealthy using your books is to become an authorpreneur. And what that means is to have different spin-off products from your books. And I'm going to give you 19 ways to get paid from your books. So if you're taking notes, here's something you need to write down. And 19 ways. First off is from your book. You're going to have there's 3 different versions of your book that you can get paid from. You have your digital version, you have your soft cover version, and you have your hardcover version. That's 3 different streams of income from 3 different types of books. So some people like each individual types of book. And each one has its own value to it, so you can charge a different price for each one of those. So of course, a soft cover is going to have the digital version is going to have the lowest price point on it. Your soft cover is going to have your next level, and then your hardcover, people automatically give hardcover books a much higher value. Okay, so there's your first 3 ways to get paid. The next one is to turn that book into an audiobook. Audiobook has been definitely right now. People listen to loving podcasts and loving to they get more and more familiar with audiobooks. It is another stream of income. You record it one time, and now your book, people are listening to it while they're on the train, while they're driving down the street, while they're running, and you can still charge a higher amount for that, $25 plus for that book, $19, $20, $25 plus for that book. And then if you add in other things like ad libs or bonus content because you're doing it live for yourself, then it becomes even more value with that digital version. And of course, you can do that using online services or do those audiobooks you can sell them definitely from your own website. So there's number 4. Number 5, 6, and 7, you can turn your book into online programs such as courses. You can create big courses that become your main course. You can turn them into master classes. Take a section of your book and turn it into a master class and charge people $15 to $50 to come to a 1-hour master class on a particular chapter of your book, right? You can turn it into a subscription product or a membership product, if you will, so that the membership product is something that people are going to come in and you have a lot of content in a membership site where people come there and they're seeing more income, more resources that you're adding to about this book. So you have a chapter becomes a module, and then you have supplementary products that you're creating along the way. You may continue to do some type of live call once a month to go talk about the different pieces of your book that you turn into a subscription product. So again, now you've got the 7 different items there. Okay, number 8 is a certification program. And yes, one of the reasons why I didn't want to get a typical certification as a life coach is because I figured I can create my own life coaching certification. I create a process. I say, I'm certified in my own process, and then I turn around and tell someone else, hey, you want to learn my process? Once you learn it, here's a certification, or take a test, here's my certification in my process. So the same thing can happen with your process in your book, your business building book. You have a certain process that you take people through, and then you turn around and you have certified people to teach and train in your process. And now you create a certification program. You think of John Maxwell's leadership programs is a great example that you see all across the country. Same thing with other people like Tony Robbins. You see people teaching these processes that they've learned, they got certified in someone else's training, that the book that they created, and you get certified in it. You can do the same thing. That is number 9. So number 10 is to do paid webinars. Now, this is another way of doing trainings. So instead of doing a live event, you can start doing a webinar or virtual summits where you're doing trainings from there. So you may do a series on your book, and you bring other people, other speakers in to talk about to go deeper into different sections of your book because they have higher knowledge in that particular area. Okay, you have a big program yourself, but you want to bring someone who's been studying that one chapter that you're talking with the subject in that one chapter for decades. You bring them in, and now you create a webinar based around your book, and you have people pay you for that webinar. The next thing is speaking. We already talked about with Kevin Cruz and myself. From your book, now you can take different sections of that book and create different keynote speeches, keynote addresses based upon those different sections of your book. You get paid for the same content. Y'all, I haven't changed the content. It's one piece of content, and I'm giving you all these different ways. So now we'll move on to the next one. We have live events, which are workshops, conferences, and retreats. So yes, you have workshops that you can put on. The workshop may be like I'm doing this coming weekend. I'm doing a workshop on how to write a book. So that would definitely be is based upon the content from a book that I've written on how to write a book. So it's a workshop coming from there. Then you have conferences where people want to come in and really get in depth and be around more individuals. So you can only go through so much information in the book. If you really want to get that deeper experience and really dive into can totally immersion into the content that you have in your book, you host a conference where you bring people in to a certain area and everybody gets to know each other, and then you really go dive deep into your content. Or you go even deeper with a more intimate setting and take people on a retreat. You take them to a remote location and everyone meets there, and you really have a mastermind and really go get closer to each other, more connected in a retreat. Again, these are what number? I don't even know what numbers we're on right now. Somewhere like 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. The next one is consulting and coaching. Yes, we're still talking about the same information. You take the same information you put in your book and you turn it into a consulting business, because now you've already proven your expertise there. Or you take that same process you created and you turn it into a coaching program. Same content. Now you have consulting or a coaching program. Which I'm coming back to the coaching in a second. The next thing you have is your products, services, or software. So you can, again, take this same book, create software to support it, and there becomes a product for you. Or you have products that you build out of the book itself. So now you be talking about a particular area, about house cleaning or things of that nature, and now you talk about the finer points of using green products, and now you create your own green product because of the book that you've written, and the book supports you buying the products. And we talked about in an earlier session about how the Rich Dad Poor Dad book was actually to support the original Cash Flow 101 board game. That book was created to support it, and now they sort of go back and forth with each other. The book tells you to go buy the board game, and the board game says, you want to learn more about this, grab the book. Okay, so you created more products out of the same content. Again, we'll come back to live coaching. 2 ways to do live coaching here. That is through a group coaching, or to do one-on-one, or a hybrid of them both. So you have a group coaching from the broad spectrum of clients, and then you branch them right off into one-on-one. You like that? You break them off into the one-on-one clients that you charge a higher price for them, and then you may even bring those higher classes to go to another level to take them into a mastermind group at a higher level than the one-on-one. So there's number 20. There's number 20 as far as ways to get paid. I didn't even put that one on my list. It just came to me as I was talking to you right now. That's 20 different ways to get paid from the same content. Now you see even more reason why you should write your book right now. So to wrap this all up, y'all, here it is. You become an authorpreneur. It's a combination of being an author and being an entrepreneur. So not just being a broke artist. are starving artists, but you take your work because you love to write, you love to get your content out there, you love to share your strength, your experience, your hope with other individuals. You want to learn your skill set, share it with other individuals, and then you take the entrepreneurial things and add all these other different ways to it. I give you 20 ways of taking your book and turning it into income streams, multiple income streams that goes along with whatever else that you're already doing. This adds on to it. Okay, so become an entrepreneur and make more money from almost these from 24 I just gave you new income streams from that one source, your book, your manuscript. Okay, so again, to teach you how to create this manuscript, how to create your first book, I'm doing a workshop here coming up in the next couple of days, March 16th, that is. You can go to bit.ly/Easy Way Book Workshop. Go to bit.ly/Easy Way Book Workshop. And if you're not here in Indianapolis area, there are virtual tickets available. Go ahead and grab this. I will not be going in as much detail in later workshops as I am in this one. So if you want to get the whole thing, the whole enchilada, you gotta get it in at this price. It's $30 to grab this workshop. Get in this workshop. After this, I'm not going as detailed. You'll be grabbing the detail I'm giving you this weekend. You'll be paying $500 plus from after this. Be there or be square, cuz I heard you. Love it. All right, so before I go into the last section and close y'all out, are there any questions about anything I said? Because I give a lot of good content. It's all revolving around, again, the 24 ways. Excellent, excellent. All right, so so our bonus content before I get off here, I got to get off here. The bonus content here is this: is that when you first write your manuscript and you get it done, make sure you get yourself a proof copy, okay? Which is your physical copy of your book, because you may start off with the ebook version, but then you move into your physical copy. Because remember we said the first three ways to get your book. Three ways to get paid from your book are digital, soft cover, and hardcover, right? So you got your digital copy done, then you come around and you get your proof copy of your physical book, right? This next copy of Overcoming Procrastination, the proof copy, because you see it says on there, not for resale is what it says on there. And I get the book and I'm excited because you get to smell the book. It's in your hands. It's like, it's real. It's really happening. It's right here. And there's certain things that you notice when you get your proof copy that you want to get before you send it out and say, hey, everybody come go grab this book. So I look on here now and I see, like, you know what? I really could. I did have enough room to put my name and so forth on the spine. This is one of the reasons why you get your proof copy, to look at your covers, to see if everything is looking the way it is. I needed to change a little bit of my pictures, a little bit dark right there. But everything else is cool on there. All the other stuff is fitting on the spine, and even the cover is fine. I love it. This is all good. But I see on the spine, I could have put my name. So that's something I need, my name and the title. So that sits on there. I have enough room. It wasn't going to be all bunched up like I thought it was. I see that now. And as I open up in here, we get on in the download, which you talk about doing, having a free download, some way to start getting your names list, your build your database. I see, as you can see there, that this words are cutting into my picture. See, the words are cutting into that picture, so I need to adjust that. So I've done that, made those adjustments. And as I go through, there's a few other things here. I thought the spacing, it looked good on the digital version with the spacing on there, but then I look at this and that's too much space between paragraphs. So I had to go in there and adjust that. It's not like all the paragraphs, it's just when I have different sections. This is the new subheading right here within the chapter, and that gap is too much, so I went through and removed all those gaps. So the book, it shortens by 1 page, but it goes from 117 pages to 116 pages. It's all right, but I got those gaps removed, so it looks clean. It looks like a professionally done book. That is awesome. Okay. This is one of the reasons. These are the reasons why you grab your book, so you can flip through it, you can see it. I didn't like my page numbers being up at the top. That didn't look right to me, so I've changed the page numbers and put them down in the bottom because we had all this space that seemed like it was wasted to me. So I was like, I'm moving the page numbers up from up here, and I put them down here in the bottom. So I've already uploaded the new manuscript. The new cover has already been uploaded, so that it can get accepted, and I can start printing off copies of this book myself. And then what I'll be doing, as we talked about in earlier lessons, I'll start sending out copies of this book to companies around the area to try to get in for speaking engagements, for trainings, for workshops on productivity. Because then I've written the book on how to overcome procrastination and help people with those limiting beliefs and people who are have this perfectionist thing going on with them. Okay, so that becomes marketing material right there. Get your proof copy of your book, and I like keeping these. I keep these with me. These are my copies because it's proof that for me that it's, again, my proof copies are proof that I'm an author for me, and that's why you want it. One of the reasons why you want to get it, for you to have acknowledgement like this is real for me, and then to go back and make sure you get your book looking the way that you want to look in its finished version. Look at your proof copies. Make sure you order your proof copy, at least one, and make sure it looks like you wanted to get. Okay, there's your bonus item for today. With that being said, I'm going to get off for today because I just felt like, we missed yesterday because of Facebook and Instagram being down, so I wanted to make sure. I was going to tell you that content yesterday, but I couldn't get on here to do it, so you got a double dose here today. I hope it served you, and I hope you share this with someone else who needs to hear this information. Someone you know has been talking about writing a book, or someone that you know has said, you've told you should write a book. There's someone that you know around here that you know that's close to you that you need to share this information with. Share it with them today. Let them know not only can they just write a book, they can write the book, but also tell them you just found out 20 ways to get paid with the same content from one book. Send it out to them, y'all. That being said, you can be, you can do, you can have anything you want in this world. You've just got to believe. You can't live a life of no doubt, just blessings, and I will show you how right here. And all you who are part of No Doubt Nation, I want you to say it loudly and do it proudly. You know what I'm talking about. Say our mantra loudly and do it proudly and make life happen every day. I love y'all. God bless, and I'll talk to you next time.